Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make the never-ending card that we've been talking about. I hope you'll stay tuned. I made it. I'm not sure it's great, but I made it. So here's what mine looks like. And I didn't do these sides properly because my decorating was not the way it should have been. But I decided I maybe would be better doing a 6x6 card. So this was a 4¼ by 5½, an A2 size card, and I think I'd like it better if it was bigger. I think I can control where I put things better, you know, the pieces. And actually what happened was I showed it to Rich, and he went, "Oh, that's cool." And then when he got to this part where these two pieces flip up, he completely tore the whole card apart. So with that being said, I realized that when they said just put a little glue in the bottom corners, they didn't mean just put a little glue in the bottom corners. So I'm just going to forewarn you that I'm putting more glue than you probably will want me to put. So let's start. You're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock. Don't use your heavyweight because you won't be able to bend this the way you need to bend it. But all of your pieces are all the same size. They are all 6 inches by 3 inches, and you need 4, as I think I already said. Then you're going to score them all exactly the same. Let me tell you how. You're going to score at 1½ inches. Woo, almost lost my mind there. And I'm going to turn it around and score again at 1½ inches. I think it's easier that way for me to make sure that I have my scores in the right place. Because if I go to 4½ and score it there, sometimes you don't score exactly the way you did at the 1½, and then your scores aren't even. And with this card, you need things to be exactly the same on everything. So I'm going to do all 4 at 1½ on either end. Here's the other thing you need to score at. It's a little bit weird, but we're going to go with it. You're going to score from the top down to your score line right here at 1½. Just down to that score line you just made. Then down here, you're going to have to turn around because if you try to figure out where that 1½ inch mark is at the bottom of your scores, you're going to struggle. Or you could do this, and I'll show you how to play this game. You take a pencil and you make a little mark in your lines of your scoreboard. Hopefully you can see that. I'll move it up and make sure you can. Can you see that mark? That way you can put your cardstock in, score at 1½ on the top, down to that score line, and then start at, you know where your mark is, and you're just going to go up to that score line. Follow? Should be pretty easy. Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and then we'll be ready to roll. Now with this card, what I've seen people doing is that they don't, they decorate and do their folds of their scores once the card is put together. And that is a little bit tricky for me. I've never done anything like that because I'm one of those people that likes to fold everything before so I know how it goes together. But that's not how we're playing this game, folks. Let me show you how we're going to do this. We're going to, all these cards are exactly the same, basically. If you figure out how to do this once, you're in good shape. You're going to put your first 2 pieces together like this. I'm going to recommend something else. Take a piece of low-tack tape, washi tape, some tape that you did this with, put it on your sleeve, took a little bit of the fuzz off so it's not super sticky, and then put your pieces together exactly the same. Right butted up against each other, and then I'm going to tape those together like that. We'll pull them apart once we're done. but this is going to save you a lot of hassle. I'm going to show you something else. I cut all of my papers at the same time, and I cut them at 6 by 3. Do you see how this side is a little bit longer? I don't know if you can see that. This piece, these two are butted up against each other, and these lines are exactly the same. But then when you get down to here, this piece is just a little bit longer, and that will screw you up with this card. Trust me. I don't know why it's a little bit longer, but I'm going to fix that. I'm just going to take a little hair off that to make them so that they're the same length. Because I don't want this to go wrong. You know, I'm showing it to you on video. Okay, then I'm going to show you these two. You notice that are, hopefully you can see this. I'll take a pencil. Hopefully you can see that these score lines are up and down like this. The long score lines. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. Then when you put these two pieces down, you're going to put them in the opposite direction. So those long score lines are now going horizontally, which means like on the horizon, so straight across. Up and down on the bottom layer, straight across on the top layer. So I'm going to erase those now that I hope you got the idea of it. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay these two pieces on top of their buddies, and we're going to lay them down exactly side by side. You can tape these two together or not. It's up to you. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that they were the same length. These ones are the same length as each other. I don't know why that one was just a hair off. We're just going to go with it. It was. Okay. So, I'm going to put, I don't know if I'm not going to tape those together because I think that'll just make it harder for me to navigate it. I'm going to erase my little line there though. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to take glue, and in the bottom two corners of this piece and in the top two corners of that piece, we're going to put glue. And I'm not going to tell you just put it in the bottom corner because, as I said, that really screwed me up. I thought corner meant corner. It doesn't mean corner. It means, in this case, it means this big, this square that we, I'm trying to squeeze my glue out. It's this square that we just made. See how much glue we got? That's not a little bit of glue. You want glue. And then you want to go up to the top two. Hopefully my glue will make it shiny enough that you'll be able to see the places I'm talking about. Oh, I just got some glue on that. That's not good. It wasn't in a corner. Okay, this is my Martha Stewart glue, and I'm trying to make sure that I stick to the corner squares. You see these squares? You don't want it to go outside those squares. You see them? This one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay? Then you're going to lay this piece on top of and make sure it lines up exactly with your card below it. So if you have to turn them over and look at them to make sure that it's right, do that. But you want to make sure that they are totally lined up. Okay? Then you're going to take your other piece, same thing. We're going to lay it on our corner, make sure it's well lined up. And all of these should be butting up against each other. I got to make sure that if you're using wet glue like I am, you should be able to see one continuous piece of card. You know, you should see one square. One big square. And these two pieces, see, they're not laying together, even though I tried to get them to lay together. I'm not sure why they're fighting me. We're going with it because I've played with this card for long enough. You want to let your glue set up. If you use tear tape, I recommend that you cover one of these squares, and I'm going to show you basically the square goes into there. It's bigger than the pink piece. It's the whole square. I want you to fill that with your glue. Then, hopefully my glue is set up now. So then you want to fold back on your scores, like that. Do it slowly because you don't want your glue to take apart your card like Rich did. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece of tape off. Okay, each time we do one of these folds, you're going to want to make sure that the fold is really well done. Okay, these are the folds that are going to be tricky because we've got to fold cardstock down. See that big piece? And then this piece. You want to, if you have a bone folder, use it at this point. If I could find mine, I would use mine. There it is. Okay. You want to make sure these pieces of cardstock are really nice and flat, and that you play with this enough that all of your folds stay folded. Okay. Then we're going to fold it out like this, and then this layer folds down. Then this layer folds back. This layer folds down. This layer folds back. And we've got a continuous card. So this should be the front of our card. I might be making that up. Now we're going to decorate it because I want it to be loads of fun. I have cut my little pieces already, and I'll tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need 8 pieces that are 2 3/4 inch square, and I ran out of one paper, so I had to go on to a different kind of paper. So I have some of this and some of that. They're all from the same paper pad, so they should work together. Then you need 4 2 3/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. That's those. Then you need 16 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So that is the sum total of what you need to decorate your card. Plus, I punched out and colored a bunch of rabbits for Easter. I thought it'd be fun to do that. So let's see how I want to do this. The thing that I learned from doing my first one of these is that it's better if you know which one of these, which way everything goes before you decorate it, or that you use cardstock or paper that isn't really, that's not going to have a direction. So like these that have the clouds on them, they're directional. And I'm going to put 2 of those on my front. I'll just walk you through how I'm going to decorate mine. And then I'm going to have, that one square looks a little off. It doesn't seem straight. It's not. I cut extras of these because I thought I might have had that problem. There's that. Okay, so I know you've got a system now, so I'm going to use my Nuvo tape runner. I got this in a card kit, and I haven't decided if I love it or hate it. I don't know if you have that problem with tape, but I do. Sometimes if this gets kind of, even though I try to make sure that I disconnect it, you know how you have to like kind of take it to the side a little bit, you know, like go like this when you're done. I try doing that, and still I get kind of like boogers of glue that just don't seem to want to let go. And sometimes they just kind of roll up in there, and then I have to figure out how to fix that. So like I said, there's one right there. Not sure where they come from. Okay. So I'm going to make sure my clouds are well adhered. I'm going to have Rich fast forward through laying down all of these pieces because I'm sure you don't really want to watch me glue down a lot of little pieces of paper. Maybe you do. Here's the thing when you decorate this card. You want to make sure that if you have one that goes in a certain direction, that you're going to put, some of these rows, when you open them, okay, I'm going to show you this row. When you open this row into this piece, some of these are going to show when you do the reverse. So you really need to make sure that you know how all these are going to look when you do your decorating. All right, I'm going to do this one next. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the other two of these and 4 of my little ones. Then, let's see, got that one and that one, this one and this one, this one and this one. Okay, see what I was talking about? You have to make sure that these are right, because look how now when I do this section, I've got these clouds sticking out. I'm just going to roll with it and put 2 of these down in the center. These don't go any particular direction, so I think we're good. Okay, on this page, I'm going to put these 4 on the side. Now let's look at our card again. So we need to put these 4 on the corners of this one, and then we're done. Okay, so now we're going to make sure that our bunnies have spots to live in. I think, I'm not sure. I have a bunch of rabbits. I like this one. Oh, I accidentally just dropped an inked stamp right there. Here's my mono eraser, and if I can just get it down to a dull look that you don't really notice, then I'll be happy. But right now I can see it, and maybe you can't, but it really bugs me when I can see my big boo-boos. What I thought I would do is make it look like that butterfly was just kind of going from one screen to the other. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna glue down those right there. Could be a lie. I might change my mind later. I'm changing up my glue for the day. I'm using Brutus Monroe glue. I didn't even remember I had it. I bought it when I visited his store, and then I never used it because I don't know why. You know how I am. I think I'm a glue connoisseur. I have way too much glue for one person. But on the flip side of that, I like my glue. And I'm always looking for the ultimate glue. I really do like the Barely Art glue. I sometimes struggle squeezing anything, and that's where I'm at today. I'm not able to squeeze at all. And so I want to make sure that I can glue these things down. And this has a huge nozzle. Huge. Way more glue comes out of it than you need to come out of it, but what am I going to do, you know? All right. So let's see, what do I want to glue next? And this one is the one where, if I'm going to do this, I need to hide it in this part. Well, all right, here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stamp Happy Easter and then punch it out or cut it out with a die. Here's my Happy Easter that doesn't want to stay on the block, because, you know, why would it? I'm going to glue it down so it stays this time. Then what I'm going to do is I think I'll die cut it to make sure that I can. It doesn't matter if it's straight. All it matters is if I can ink it, hopefully. Not horrible, not great. I'm going to do it again just to cause trouble. Okay, better. Let me die cut that or punch it or do something with it, and I'll be right back. So let's do the walkthrough on our card. I didn't put a sentiment on the front. I probably should have, but I didn't. And then inside, we have two more bunnies running and doing things. And this side, I don't know if you noticed that, but on this piece, see how these two pieces show from underneath? You have to make sure that if you glue down an image, that you don't glue it into this half to the right and to the left, like this part that sticks out. You don't want to put it over there because it will show up. So just forewarning you. And then there's the very last one. And then back to the beginning. So here is our A2 size card, and I did mess this one up. On this layer, you can see that I put a sentiment and an image over here that I shouldn't have put there, but accidentally did, because when Rich pulled it apart and I glued it back together, I glued it back together backwards from what it was originally, and so then, you know, I couldn't fix it again. Because then when I glued it down, oh, I know what my problem is, my little circle in the front. If you have an overlap like this, you have to really watch out for it, because, you know, when you're moving all these layers, see how nice this layer looks when it doesn't have anything in front of it. But, you know, when it's at this point, it doesn't look that good. Looks good, doesn't look good. So I just thought I'd forewarn you about some of the pitfalls of doing this. The other thing I realized is trying to have a ribbon on these is not as easy as you would think it would be. So I have to fix that. So those are my two cards. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.